My name is Randall Hayes, and I work with the Pennsylvania Association for Rational Sexual Offense Laws, PARCEL. As legislative director, I do my best to track proposed laws concerning sexual offenses and to build relationships with policymakers who vote on these issues. It is our goal to advocate for policy that is best supported by empirical evidence from experts in the fields of public safety, criminal justice reform, and mental health treatment. We want to see Pennsylvania make the best decisions possible when it comes to public safety policy, as well as individual liberty and freedom. We do not condone any forms of non-consensual sex. People who commit sexual offenses should be prosecuted. These punishments should be constitutional, fair, and serve the legitimate best interests of all Pennsylvanians. Last year, in April 2020, Senator David Arnold introduced legislation which would increase the penalties for possession of images of childhood sexual abuse or child pornography. Now, this bill came to my attention as one that ran counter to PARCEL's mission of a Pennsylvania safe and just for all. And I say this because the unfortunate reality about child pornography and images of childhood sexual abuse is that this problem is only getting worse. Despite increased penalties, despite greater prosecution, the underground demand for this material has skyrocketed, as detailed in a cover story or a feature story in the New York Times in September 2019. These are serious crimes, but the research shows us that we cannot punish them away. Simply putting people in prison longer, putting them on sex offense registries for decades, and making it harder for them to reintegrate into society following their eventual release, because they will be released someday, is not getting to the root of the problem. If we truly want to combat these types of crimes from occurring and prevent more Pennsylvania children and adults from wearing the label of victim for the rest of their lives, we need policy that focuses on prevention. With the years of research that PARCEL has collected, I approached the senator's office and shared this idea with the senator's staff. They were very receptive, and they proposed an amendment to create a task force composed of stakeholders from across the state who are interested in seeing a reduction in the amount of sexual offenses, and would convene this body to propose solutions and plans of prevention so that we can educate adults before they make these poor choices and victimize children and other adults, so that we can educate children and educate people who are responsible for caretaking of children in this state. It was a great idea. It's advocated, endorsed by experts at Johns Hopkins University. Dr. Elizabeth Letourneau, the leading expert on this issue, this is exactly what she proposes: the formation of a task force in the state and eventually the nation to combat these issues and focus on prevention before these crimes occur. The bill went to the Senate Judiciary Committee, where Senator Lisa Baker introduced the amendment that would create this task force. It passed the committee. It went to the full Senate floor for a vote. Somewhere along the line, the task force focused on prevention was changed into a task force focused on prosecution and on more aggressively prosecuting these types of crimes. The idea of prevention, tragically, was erased from the bill entirely. The word prevention no longer appeared in the final version of this bill that did eventually pass the Senate. This is very unfortunate news, as it was a great loss of an opportunity to implement a strategy based on prevention in Pennsylvania and really gain some ground in changing the approach that we're taking from tough on crime and more of the same, stiffer penalties, longer sentences, to something that is advocated by experts in the field of prevention of sexual abuse. Now, this bill died before it could be signed by the governor because the end of the year arrived and the session ended. But earlier this year, in January 2021, Senator Baker reintroduced this proposal for increased penalties for child pornography, as well as a task force. Now, I was in communication with the late Senator Arnold's office, who had a very untimely and unfortunate passing away earlier this year due to brain cancer. But we had discussed reinstating the prevention task force and the important need for it, to which the senator's staff was very much in favor. However, the bill that Senator Baker introduced, and which did pass the Senate Judiciary Committee as well as the full Senate again, did not contain a focus on prevention. It has a focus on prosecution. And so here we are, pretty much back where we were last year, and it is now in the hands of the House Judiciary Committee here in Pennsylvania, and it will very likely see a full vote on the House floor before it goes to the governor to sign. And so my message for Chairman Kauffman on the Judiciary Committee in the House, for other members of the Judiciary Committee in the House, and for House members in the General Assembly, is that it's not too late to re-implement a task force based on prevention, advocated by experts, again, in public safety, to address the causes of childhood sexual abuse in Pennsylvania, see where we're lagging, where can we start implementing education, and how can we best tackle this public health issue, because that's what it is. It's a public health issue. I wish it were as easy as increasing penalties and adding more offenses to the lists of offenses that are going to put people on sexual offense registries, but the reality is it's not. What research shows us is this population has very low rates of recidivism. So that means that when somebody is caught for this type of crime, they typically, in the very large majority of cases, do not go on to reoffend. We need to tackle this problem before people are caught. We need to educate people before they go out seeking this kind of material on the internet or make decisions with children and adults in their lives and create victims. Chairman Kauffman, members of the General Assembly, it is not too late to reinstate this task force that is based on and focused on prevention. Senator Arnold's office has the text. It is available, and we have a choice. We can go down the same old road we've been going on, which has resulted, again, in record amounts of material on the internet and record amounts of people searching out for this material on the internet. Or we can go with the approach that is advocated by the experts in the fields. The bill is SB 87, and I will do my best to continue communication with our elected officials. I urge anyone here listening to this video to contact their elected officials, particularly Chairman Rob Kauffman of the Judiciary Committee, Speaker Brian Cutler, who is the Speaker of the House, and Majority Leader Kerry Benninghoff. These are the men who are largely going to decide which bills move, which bills do not, and again, I urge you to do the right thing so that we can continue to advance a Pennsylvania safe and just for all, and of course, reduce the amount of children who are victimized in this state. Thank you for listening, and I will see you soon in another video.